Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second part of this series called Horrible Bosses. And today I'll be teaching you what I promised in series one. I'll be teaching you how to make amends if you realize that you are a horrible boss or if you have been tagged as a horrible boss. Like we established in the first series several times, people do not realize that they are horrible bosses until they are tagged, or they do an audit, they find out, they ask for feedback, they get a third party to check if they are horrible, and then they begin the journey towards making amends. Now, if you were tagged on Twitter last year as a horrible boss, I mean, you're still alive, so that's not the end of the world, right? So, but there are several things you can do to ensure that you don't remain a horrible boss. I'm sure you'd like to find out. Let's dive into the video. Now, how do you avoid becoming a horrible boss? Several times when we say a boss is horrible, it just means that we are questioning the authenticity or the quality of your leadership, right? I know that leadership and managing people is a very critical assignment, is a very critical role that we occupy in the minds and hearts of people. So it takes a lot to actually be a leader and a great people manager. So to ensure that you take, active steps away from being a horrible boss to being an amazing boss, one of the things you want to do is to check the quality of your leadership. Am I actually a leader in the true sense of leadership? How great or how amazing is my people management skill? How am I able to steer the ship and drive the wheel to influence the people working with me in the organization or in the team towards achieving results? Now, if you're able to, hone your leadership skill, if you're able to improve your people management skill and also work on your soft skill, then you have begun your journey towards becoming an amazing leader and away from being a horrible boss. Now, when we're working with people, learning people management skill is an inexhaustible process, right? So it's not something that you could say, oh, I've learned how to manage people. Now I've taken a training, I've taken a course, and it's going to last me 1,000 years. No, people management skill experience what we call wear and tear. So as you use them, it's like soft skills. As you use them, as you apply them, you keep losing touch. And don't forget that the people you're working with and the people you are managing are multidimensional in nature, right? That's why when it comes to human psychology, we keep learning better ways to interact with the people around us. So you need to make it a point of duty to constantly hone your people management skill, constantly hone your soft skill, constantly take leadership classes that would give you the right information. 90% of the time, the people who are in leadership position are in those positions without the right amount of skill needed to lead people and manage people. So they manage people out of their heads, right? They manage people out of the ideas that come to their head. It's more like a trial and error thing. So I think that if I shout at this person and threaten this person, they'll meet their target tomorrow. So I think that if I speak to this person harshly, or I make this person know that, oh, I'm not happy about their current attitude or what they just did, they won't do it next time. Whereas human behavior changes from time to time. You also need to take time to study people. I know this is quite difficult, especially if you are leading a large team or you're leading a very large organization. But you need to learn to at least study the people that report to you directly. And this message goes to a lot of small business CEOs and owner managers that are the owners of their businesses and managers. Now, the law of management says that you're not supposed to manage more than 5 people at the same time. And that's the reason why when you see an organogram or an organizational chart, right, depending on the organizational chart that people work with, they are always teamed, right? They're either the compartmentalized or productized or projectized, but the essence is to ensure that not more than 5 people report to you at the same time. 90% of the reason why people are even called horrible bosses is because the bosses themselves are overwhelmed. When you're managing so many people, it's possible and understandable that at some point you will lose your cool. The problem is if losing your cool becomes a habit and everybody who gets in contact with you gets a boss and a boss, you'll be tagged as a horrible boss. So why not save yourself the stress? Put your mental health in check, your sanity, your joy, your happiness is important. Ensure that you go back to your company today and apply the principle of management where you don't have more than 5 people reporting to you. That way, it is easier for you to even take stock to say, oh, what aspect of leadership do I need to improve on? How do I hope to get the best out of my people? How do I manage these 5 people better? How do I get to understand these 5 people individually or categorize them into 2 to 3 categories so that I can manage them better? Because the truth is, the management skill for person A, the management skill you would need to manage person in category A may not work for somebody in category B. I'll give an example. Now, we respond to things differently. There are people who don't respond to threats. In fact, once you start threatening them, their brain shuts down. That particular thing you are threatening them for and you don't want to happen will just happen. While there are people, so these people who don't respond to threats respond better to appreciation, encouragement, and support. While there are people that, appreciate them and encourage them, once there's no fire on the mountain, they are good, right? But once you tell them, I'm going to cut the meal off your table, oh my God, you will see them become the best version of themselves. So you need to know who these people are, what works for them, so that you can apply the leadership and people management skills that will help you get the best results from your staff. Remember, your job as the boss is to influence everybody working with you towards achieving an organizational goal. So if you've ever been tagged as a horrible boss, I hope this video helps you gain clarity on how to move from a horrible boss to an amazing boss. See you in the next series and keep winning.